match. Morning, Carlos.
Morning.
How are you? You well?
You?
Yeah, good, thank you. How's the preparation going into tomorrow's game, given you haven't had a midweek game this week?
Yes, it's fine. Every time you have 1 week, you can insist in more details of the game, and you can be preparing with more detail and more specific the game. So everything is being fine.
Going into this Fulham match, they're free scoring, aren't they? Very dangerous, but your side have been very solid at the back. Is that something you're really going to need tomorrow, isn't it?
I think tomorrow is the typical game that to get something positive, you need to defend really well. In the moment that you go to press, you need to press really well because they are one team that able to break the press. In the moment that you are defending more close to your box, you need to be very solid. In the moment that you have the ball, you need to attack, because as soon as you don't attack, you are going to be defending, and if you are just defending the game, it's going to be it's very difficult to get something positive. So for me, it's a typical game where you need to be very focused, concentrate, and with enough positive performance in the moment where you have the ball and the moment where you don't have the ball.
Yeah, is it one of those we speak about the defence rightly praised, but a couple of 0-0s, it's a game where obviously would love Huddersfield Town to find the shooting boots again, but it's going to be tough to do that against Fulham, isn't it?
No, I think it's just trying to defend well, trying to be aggressive, and trying to use well the ball when we have the ball. I faced that game as a normal game with the highest level of respect to the opponent, knowing that they have many strengths, but watching our strengths too as a team. And for me, still is the same points. Try to be aggressive in the moment that we can be aggressive, try to be solid when we have to be solid, and try to be very brave and with personality when we have the ball, because if no, you don't show in tomorrow's one game to show all these three values or points in the highest level that we can to achieve the result that we want to achieve.
Looking back on the Sheffield United game last week, obviously the goal that wasn't given, do little moments like that spur you on even more, Carlos?
I think we can evaluate the performance of the team with the circumstances that happened the other day. So it's true that the goal was disallowed in the first half, but we cannot talk about what will happen if we score the goal. I only was watching the team, for me, with watching the 90 minutes of the game with a better moments than worse moments. With some moments we were solid enough to stop their chances, in some moments not enough, in some moments managing well the ball in attack, in some moments without breaking off the last line of the defenders to create the chance. But with for me, if I analyze the collective performance of the other day, I find very positive things in attack, even if we didn't score the goal or the goal was disallowed. And I find very positive things in defense too.
On that game as well, John Russell, his first championship start, we've just spoken to him. He loved the occasion and he showed enough maybe to hold on to that starting place. How did you rate John's performance last week?
I think he was one player that was helping to make that the quality performance was a positive one. I think he was helping in terms of the position defense, in terms of the recoveries, in terms of the transition and the forward passes. And after, we know that it's a player that can give a lot of calm with the ball. Still need to adapt to the speed of the championship in every type of situation, but it's a player that I don't have any type of doubt that is going to be an important player from now to the end of the season.
As well as John, with your team selection last week, Pieper came back into the 11. Is he all fine? Has he not come away with any extra knocks? Because he's been a bit hit and miss injury-wise this season. Yes,
it's normal when one player has been with a long time injury. Sometimes when they come back, they have different type of injuries, not the same one. It's like they start to have maybe the consequence to don't be in the pitch training normally. You start to have some small problems that are going to appear, and we understand that this is normal. Pieper is not going to be available tomorrow because he has a small problem in the groin. So we need to manage very well the minutes that he's in the pitch, the minutes that he's in the training with the team, and the minutes that he can play.
So on that, will it also rule him out for Cardiff next week, or is it too early to say, Carlos?
No, we don't know yet. We don't know if he will be available against Cardiff, if he will be available against Birmingham, or he's not going to be available in any of the two games. Everything is going to depend about how he reacts to the medical treatment that they are doing.
Okay. When we spoke last week, Levi, Colwell, and Tino Angerin, are they similar time frames? Is that all progressing nicely?
No, it's different because Tino was not working with us yet. Tino continued being in Chelsea and continue be working with the medical Chelsea staff. The next step will he be with us. We hope in the next week he will start to work with our medical staff. Corwell is different because Corwell this week has made some of the days of the training. So depending about today training, I will make a decision with him.
Brilliant news. Is Tino going to come over to Fulham and link up with you? He's only down the road, isn't he? Is there a chance for him to link up with the squad at all, or will you not meet up with him?
Being honest, we didn't decide the fact to meet us there in the stadium. When you have the game, for me, we are just focused on the game. I am very full focus in injury recovery, more than in the injury meet in person with him. The only important thing now that we have in the mind is to have the faster recovery, the quickest recovery that we can do with him, and the faster adaptation to the team after he can training with the group of the players that we have.
And just going into tomorrow, any other fresh injury concerns, or other than Pipa, do you have the same squad available?
Yes, the same squad available. Only we lose Pipa, and with the possibility, depending about today, to add Corwell to the squad.
And just Josh Ruffles as well. He came in for a lot of praise. How did you assess his performance? And again, a little bit like John, it's maybe his position to lose at the moment.
I think I always say that I am full of confidence with Ruffles. He's one player that even if he didn't play in the championship until the year, I think he's a player with enough experience in League One, but one player with experience, one young player is one player with 28 years old with many minutes in the League One, and one player that have enough skills to help the team. For me, the other day he saw this was a very positive, maybe third step, because the first step of him was to play some minutes with the team from the bench in different positions because he didn't play before in his main position. The second step was to play in the cup. He was having two first 11 games where he was showing that he can help the team. And the other day was the third for me step where he was watching himself that he can compete, of course, in the championship being a starting player. So I think it was a very positive moment because we need now to grow our squad, to grow our possibilities. In this moment of the season is going to be very important.
I want to just pick up on something John spoke to us earlier about going out on loan. I've recently watched Diarra playing for Harrogate last week, watched Kieran Phillips scoring for Exeter, and John said that his loan experience last season was so useful. It taught him how to get up to speed with the men's game. As a coach, how much do you value sending those younger players out on loan, like your Kieran Phillips or your Diarras or your Osterfields?
I think we need to consider well the possibilities that these players can find in the first team. If we will find like the last year that there are gaps for young players, I think the best way is to keep the players. As soon as we understand that in the first team there is enough full squad where cannot be many gaps, the players that we understand that still need to develop, we need to find the possibility to develop them when our structure in the B team, we understand that they have completed the process. Some of the young players didn't complete the process yet to be with our B team. Some of the players have completed the process and they can have opportunities in the first team. That was the case of Russell. That is a player that started the season in the B team, training with the first team and using now the possibility to play with the first team. But another player, we understand that they have completed the process with the B team, but we don't see many gaps or possibilities because the position where they play, for example, Ben Jackson is one player that plays as a left back, and we understand that now with Toffolo and with Ruffles, it's going to be very difficult for Ben Jackson to give the step to the first team. So now he's playing in League One and he's playing regularly. He only was missing the first 45 minutes in the first game. After this, he started to play the second half in the first game, and he has been playing regularly as a left back and as a left wing back in the last game with the team that he's on loan. So it means that you need to give this step to help the player to continue to develop when you cannot give the space here in the first team because still they need to develop to achieve the level to be taking one gap. For me, the best option is to use the loan to finish the preparation of the player.
So with that, each transfer window, you have to assess your first team squad then and see if there are those gaps before you make those decisions.
Yeah, of course. I think before you bring any player to the club, first step, you need to see if you have the player in the club, because it doesn't make sense to bring someone in the moment that you have one player in the club that is going to take the possibility to add things to the team. And after, we need to see who is ready, who still need to develop, and if we can develop the needs, if we can help the player to cover the needs, or we need to find the place where they can fix the last point that they need to fix, or to prove that they can compete in one level of football.
Thanks for that. Just lastly, Carlos, on Fulham, we all know the task at hand, how good they have been this season. Of course, your side were on a very negative result against them at the start of the season, but you've come on leaps and bounds results-wise against them. Is it inevitable this Fulham side will be playing Premier League football next year? What do you make to them?
How I see them, and I see them playing a very good level of football. I think the game that can give the answer to your question is the game that they were playing against Manchester City, because for me in that game, you can watch that the difference of the result was not the difference that Fulham did in the pitch.
Thank you very much. Best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carlos.
Dave, good morning.
Morning, mate. Hiya, Carlos.
Good morning.
Just looking back a little bit to that Sheffield United game,
Yes.
where do you rank it in your performances this season? Because I think it was well up there, despite not getting the win, as one of your best of the season.
I think we find a good balance between attack and defense. In the first half, we dominate 2 of the 350 minutes that you find in the first half. So you have from the start to the minute 15, for me, we were a better team. From the minute 15 to the minute 30, we were in defense more time that we wanted to be. From the minute 30 to the minute 45, the team was having a positive reaction. In the second half, we were sharing the moments to dominate, more alternative for both teams. But I think we find a good balance between to break the last line and to have the ball, more in the second half than in the first half. We dominate the ball more than usually we have been doing with teams that are competitive teams. And in defense, we concede some chances, but it's true that at the same time, we were defending enough well in some moments. So I understand that the team was doing a good performances, good balance in attack, in the 3 moments that you can create chance, in the set pieces, in the counter-attacks, in the positional attacks. We were creating better positional attacks, finishing the action in our right side more than in our left side, because we find in the right side the best way to break the last line. In the left side, we didn't break the last line the same number of times that we did on the right side of our attacks. But in general, it was a positive step to keep growing in this point.
Excellent. And obviously, it was 2 0-0 draws last week, but it kept the run going. And I mean, since the start of December, you've actually taken more points than Fulham in the league. Keeping this run going as long as possible is quite important, isn't it?
Yes, every time that you are achieving positive results, because when you don't win, you draw and you get a point, always is for me important, but it's important. But more important to the things that we have been doing is to the growing of the team. I am full of focus to the growing of the team. Tomorrow is going to be a high challenge to keep growing, but the mentality for me is to do this, to improve the level of the team in attack, improve the level of the team in defense against any type of opponent. Tomorrow will be one of the more difficult because they are in the best position in the table, because they deserve to be in the best position in the table with any type for me of question. So it's going to be a very nice and very high challenge that we are going to face in the best way that we can face.
And do you think away form has been key? You're 7th in the league overall for points taken away from home, 21 total. That has been a huge improvement this season, hasn't it?
I think during the year, always we are going to move from different dynamics. Sometimes we are going to say that why the team is not getting a positive result away. Another moment, fortunately, we change to this because I remember at the beginning of the season, we were talking that from the last, I think there was a period after Blackpool away until Bristol away, that the team didn't achieve a positive results away. Then we start to show dynamics in the back of this. But we never are going to face the game different when we play at home or we play away, because at the end, in the pitch, what happens in the pitch is going to depend in many things about what we do in the pitch. So we want to be one team with personality, braveness to play, to attack, and to insist to have the ball and to create chance having the ball. Some moments will be challenged, some moments will be more possible. but we don't make differences to play a home away. But it's true that the better result that you achieve away and the better result that you achieve at home means that you are competing really well.
Going forward to Fulham now. Alexander Mitrovic, obviously just banging in goals left, right and centre. Lots of teams have tried to defend against him differently this season. Do you have a specific plan for him, or are you just going to defend as you always have, or is it a different challenge with Mitrovic?
I think Mitrovic is scoring many goals because he's one specialist in the box, player in the box. I think he's one player that will be a challenge, and you cannot find a perfect solution to defend him, because you need to know which profile of player he is. He's one player that he preferred heading the ball for me more than the faster player in the movement in behind. He's one player that is a specialist to receive the ball back to the goal in front of the defenders, keep the ball, and after he's a specialist to make a movement in the right moment. He always moves in the right moment to the right space when there is any type of cross situation. This is for me the main skill that I understand. Now he has added the possibility to drop and to link, something that he is doing, and that's why he is the striker that he is, because he's doing many good things. But he's a striker that we need to be full of concentration in the different moments that we are going to play, like we do with every type of striker. But it's true that he has a special instinct. That's why he has the number of goals that he's having, that he will demand our higher level in our central backs with any type of doubt.
Okay. Last one from me. Cardiff game following quickly on the heels of this one. Now you have a squad you're sort of happier with this season. Do you quite like the games coming quickly, or do you prefer a week to prepare between them?
Both things have strengths and weaknesses. You can see the positiveness of both situations and the negative points of both situations too. When you have, sometimes you prefer to prepare the games with more time. Sometimes you want to play immediately because maybe the feeling of the previous game was not the right one. So depend about the moment. So the things arrive like the things arrive, and we need to see which positive things we have played in a row, more than to be thinking what I will be or what will be the perfect ideal scenario. The scenario is what the scenario is, and now we have been 1 week to prepare Fulham, and after we have 3 days to prepare the next game. Now our only game is Fulham, and Fulham is going to demand our more than 100% of our concentration and commitment with the game.
Brilliant. Thank you. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, David. Leon, good morning.
Morning, Carlos. Morning, David. I was just wondering, Carlos, you obviously the game against Fulham earlier in this season. Is there a particular motivation to show how much that you've improved from that day? Because I mean, you certainly have, and it'll be a nice examination for your side.
Yeah, but without be looking a lot in the past, in the long term or in the short term. I think the only important mind for me is to face right now with the play that we have, with the level that we have right now, Fulham with the play that they have and with the level that they have right now. I think what happened at the beginning of the season is something that, of course, we don't want to repeat. That always is a challenge because they have showed in the season that they have get results similar to that one. So it means that we play against one team that, of course, they are in the table by merits, because they are deserving with the result that they are achieving. So we have to be just focusing ourselves in our possibilities right now to see what is the best way to defend them, to attack them, and to be full focus with the highest level of motivation, like always, the highest level of responsibility, and the highest level of hard working that is going to be necessary tomorrow. So this is the only way that how I see the game.
Your side are enjoying a great season, Carlos. What's the biggest thing that's pleased you so far?
I think if I do evaluation right now, I am making our own evaluation. We need to make the evaluation of the season as soon as the season finishes. And this is honest because we didn't play 2 times with all the championship teams yet. So it means that we need to continue showing that we have to be a competitive team against any type of opponent in the different circumstances that you play with the opponent, at home and away. So for me, I am watching that the team is growing in the mentality, in the competitiveness, in the style, but we as a team, we are aware enough to know that there are points that we need to do better. So the more pleased, or the thing that made me feel more pleased, is to see at the end of the season that we are being the more competitive team that we can be with the player that we have. And still, I don't have that feeling. Still, I have the feeling that in some moments we are competing well. In some moments, we still have things that we have to do better.
What's the main thing you think your team has to do better?
If you analyze the moments of football, for me, the other day we start to attack more time. Something that we want is to be more time with the ball. If you see the position of the ball, we this year are not having a high levels of position of the ball. For me, the more you attack, the less you defense. This relation is very simple because in football you can be attacking or defending. So the more you have the ball, the less the opponent have the ball. For me, when we don't have the ball, there has been some moments where we didn't make a transition or where we didn't move from defense to attack has been a challenge for us. So we want to find this balance better, to have the opportunity to be defending a couple of minutes because the game is going to demand, but after to have the personality and the behaviors to go and attack you 2 minutes, no, 3 or 4 minutes in a row to balance the game or even to be better than the opponent. So for me, this is the type of growing that I am full focused to. Attack more than defense. When we are in defense, make the transition better to attack.
And just finally, your side have got 50 points already. That's the same total as last season. You've done it 14 games before. Psychologically, do you think that's a big moment for your side, hitting that point total so early?
I think any type of conclusion I do now is not definitely so is the wrong one because we have season to finish. I didn't arrive this year with a target to achieve the same points or to something. I my full concentration of the year was to make the team better. And it's true that the fact that we have achieved this number of points or beat the number of points last year means that we are competing better than the last year. Still, we have many games in front of us that are going to be very important for us to keep growing. That this is my main focus. It's true that when Huddersfield was 2 seasons after they were relegated of the Premier League, the first 2 seasons in the Championship, one with me and one the previous one, has been tough seasons to achieve 49 points or 51, I think, in the first season. Of course, that we have to be realistic, and the first point is the first point that we need to do, achieve the point that allow you to be sure in the Championship. This is one of the main targets, not for Huddersfield, for every team. Does it mean that we are not ambitious? No, that it doesn't mean this. We have to be realistic. And Huddersfield was 2 seasons suffering a lot, and as soon as we achieve the point that allow you to be sure in the Championship, the better. After you achieve these points, or to achieve these points, you need to be the more competitive team that you can be. And like we have 15 games, or I don't know how many games still we have to play. You told me how many more in the league?
Yes, 14. I think it's 14
points. So we have 14 opportunities to keep growing as a team, to keep growing as a staff, and to keep developing the style that this is the full focus and the full determination that we have.
Okay, that's great, Carlos. Good luck in the wind. Be careful.
Yes, thank you so much.